Welcome back, everybody. Welcome again to the second episode out of 2 episodes. That's the last one, if you can, count to 2 of our little adventure here that I've put together for these fine folk on the Syrinscape channel. Let's go around real quick before I do a brief recap of where we are, how we got here, what we're doing, and have you all reintroduce yourselves, your characters again briefly. I think we started on Dan last time, so let's start on Steve this time. Go the other way for variety.
I like it.
Cool. Well, hi everybody, I'm Steve, and I'm playing Thalgrid Hearthkeeper, a alchemist surgeon who, as we figured out last week, is really, really bad at hitting things. But I promise to try and do better this week. And let's see if we can get out of this place.
Hey, you're all really bad at hitting things. It's okay. It's
Hey,
not
I was
just you.
successful at least 2 times.
Thank you. Thank you. It's just good to hear,
It's a group effort together. Let's go around. Chillyssa.
Okay. Hi, I'm Chillyssa. I'm playing Eliana, a catfolk fighter. And I'm excited to hit some more stuff. Hopefully.
You're right. I shouldn't have. That wasn't fair to lump you in there. You hit things
I
perfectly
did
fine.
successfully hit.
You used your fighter powers. If a fighter can't hit things, things have gone terribly, terribly wrong.
Yeah.
Jason, then, other side.
Hi there, everybody. I'm Jason Bowman. I'm it's something to do with a little game called Pathfinder, and today here I'm playing Varin One-Eye Jagrith, a forlorn elven gunslinger who has yet to really manage to hurt anything with his guns. Just lots of gun sound effects. Ping, 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 as the bullets go bouncing off, and I take terrific amounts of damage, probably as some sort of sick retribution for Plague Stone. It's fine. It's fine. I'm
I
here
didn't
for
say
it.
it.
So
He said it, not me. He said it, not me.
I'm just gonna stand in the middle of the dungeon and say, "Is that all you got? Are you not entertained?"
Perfect. So last, definitely not least, the purveyor of the most legendary critical strike I've ever seen. Go ahead.
What is up, everybody? It's me, your old buddy Dan. You can find me at danServo on Twitch and nightly on my Discord. Regular shows are happening. So also, as Squid said, legendary critical strike that did 3 damage. That's gonna go down on the books. It's good.
Not aware that was mathematically possible until it happened. So we've really tried some new
hard to do.
territory. It's incredibly hard to do. You need very specific setups, and then to roll a lot of ones. Anyway,
You know it's bad when you roll a crit and the game has to stop because the GM is too busy laughing. Like, that's not good.
that's
at
a
all.
moment. Well, we're playing on a virtual tabletop. It's doing all the math, but that would be a moment where I'm like, okay, well, hold on. That you can't possibly have crit for 3. So,
broken.
like,
Yeah.
you mean 6? Is that like before doubling? Like, I would have. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. These 4. I don't think we've earned the moniker of heroes yet, so we're gonna go with adventurers. Have come together.
Only
Even that's
marginally
kind.
that.
These 4 dudes.
Victims is what we are right now.
just a couple of lads have made their way out to a rural mining town known as Green Ridge to investigate some disappearances on behalf of the Silver Hand Company, paying pretty well in coin, not so much in information. In our first episode, we headed down into the mine shaft and pretty quickly came upon what happened. We ran afoul of a large, rampaging statue thing. Mostly stone, embedded and embellished with some plates, beams, little enhancements of a black shining metal. And nothing we did to it, even a 3 damage crit, seemed to cause it any pause. It prevented us from escaping, getting back out of the mine to gather our thoughts and see what we could figure out, and we were forced deeper below. Whereas we ended our session, we found something interesting. The mining team had very recently mined through a wall into a new cavern. And as the group of you came around in view of this cavern, you could see throughout the area what looks like a small, abandoned settlement. The architecture, the stonework, the style is all fairly old. Not unrecognizable. This isn't some abandoned settlement from a time before recorded history, but definitely numerous generations old. 100, maybe 200 years past, and of a very distinctively dwarven style. Even those of you that do not have dark vision would be able to make out some of the shapes and overarching designs of the buildings and the area, because the entirety of the cavern is just the slightest bit lit by glow coming in from patches of what looks to be a shimmering, almost grass-like growth along a lot of the walls. That kind of blue-green color that exudes throughout the entire cavern, just silhouetting the shapes, for those of you that aren't seeing this all in basically black and white. You step through the passageway into the cavern. Let me begin by asking what everybody is doing with exploration mode here. Just whoever has an idea, go ahead. Whoever knows what they're about.
I'll be keeping a lookout, keeping watch.
Okay.
Just in case anything jumps out at us, to give everyone a bonus on initiative.
Ready with the scouting, as always?
Yep.
I'll be, Ileana will be investigating.
It is definitely investigating worthy, it seems. This is a strange area, to be certain.
Mm-hmm.
Thalgrid, as a dwarf, he is very intrigued by these structures, so he's also investigating.
Fair enough. How about you then, Serhane?
I've got my eye open for traps and stuff, so whichever one that's going to be, that's what I'm looking
Searching.
for. I'm searching.
Searching indeed. He who picks last, doomed to search eternal. The way of exploration mode. I mean, you don't have to. You can just let everyone bubble into stuff and horrible things will happen. That's also possible. As the group of you come into this area, it's a pretty impressively large cavern. What is immediately clear to everybody, investigating or not, this cave is a mix of worked and natural stone. It looks like several smaller recesses within the rock had been brought together, carved out into a space large enough for what looks like it was possibly a small village, a settlement, a fort. It's hard to tell what the area's purpose is, as it's not like you're coming up a road to the front gate here. You're coming through a hole in the wall, a little bit out of the way, just kind of in the back. The two of you that are investigating, Ileana and Thalgrid, go ahead and roll me society checks.
Oh Lord, I chose.
Trying to see if there's anything else that would apply like at all, but this is pretty soundly. It's just, if you got like a lore, that's, I don't know what your lore is, but it's pretty society.
I have a warfare lore.
You want to give me a warfare lore? Go ahead and throw me a warfare lore. Honestly, if you want one of those, get it in there. I'll take it.
Yep, I'll do that.
Why am I not able? Do I just click on it, right, on the proficiencies?
Yeah.
When you click on the proficiency, it'll open a little dialog box, and then you click on the roll in the dialog box.
Am I doing this wrong? It's not. I click on it, nothing happens.
So if you have your character sheet popped out, the box will appear back in the foundry.
Back in the actual foundry.
Oh my god,
window.
okay.
Yeah,
That's what I had it covering the whole thing. And so now I have 20.
You probably got like 27 dialogue boxes.
I was like, why is this not working?
That's troubleshooting 101. If it's not working, just click it 50 more times.
Just roll all of them.
I'm about to get 100 dice. Okay, and I'll just reveal this. This doesn't really need to be a secret check here. So Ileana, with an 11 in warfare, you can tell just the way this is laid out, the space between the buildings, the amount of effort that clearly has gone more into presentation of design than defensibility. This definitely isn't like a fort or a military encampment of any kind, but that's beyond that. You're not sure what it is. Thalgrid, with your society check, and this works out perfectly, I give you a bonus just for being a dwarf here. This kind of architecture definitely isn't constructed anymore. Dwarves have largely been assimilated into the rest of society out nearer to the coast, out in the forest, out of the mountains, once the troll wars started. This looks like it's been abandoned probably for a couple generations and then built even a couple more before that. It looks like it had plenty of time for it to grow out of what was originally what might have been just a small trading post into a much larger homestead area. And with a 22 in society, you can tell this does just look like it was a town, an outlying dwarven town, almost the dwarven equivalent, perhaps, to Greenridge, from which you had entered this area. Sorry, go ahead.
No, this looks like it was some type of homestead for the dwarven folk, but I've not seen this architecture for years. This is unusual.
You think that statue came from here?
I'd bet you a gold coin it with. Actually, maybe
there's a way to
make
stop
that a
it.
silver.
Yeah, exactly.
As you
Maybe there's a way to stop it.
come a little closer into the area and start to try to get a better view, try to get where you will really see anything other than just kind of the backs of a couple of buildings and silhouettes of a town before you. You work your way between a few of these stout square frames to what looks more like a proper street. And from the inside, your view no longer blocked by these outlying structures. You can see that much of the village is kind of built almost like a wagon wheel. Roads serving as spokes out from the center, where it looks like there was a fairly large hexagonal plaza with a tall statue standing in the middle. The plaza itself is up a little bit from the rest of the roads. You can see it's about a foot or two raised and would give a decent view out over the rest of the town. But as you come into here, still on the edges, still on the outskirts, it occurs to me to ask, how's everyone looking after your battle with the spider that you had seen just before this? I think I got a couple munches on a couple people.
Yeah, I'm down 20 hit points right now.
Oh yeah. Ileana's great. I didn't get hit.
You're absolutely dipping on that spider. Everyone's told me that one. Is it just Sirhain? It's just Sirhain. Sirhain's actually pretty bloody. He kind of took the entire brunt of that. He did a great job keeping its attention and a less great job of dodging.
I mean, we don't need to recap all of it, Squid. It's fine, man. It's cool.
Just to
Laddie,
bring
sit
it up-
yourself down and let me heal that before you go leaking all over that place. You're making a mess.
Oh, hell yeah. Patch me up. That'd be great. Thank you.
Let's see a medicine check.
Yes, some more amazing dice rolls. Let's get
Here we
them
go.
going.
Let's
Hey,
go.
medicine was doing well last time.
Yeah, medicine was the one thing that was going for me. Watch me now curse that.
Yeah, you never say words like that before you roll, man. Oh, perfectly
Knock on
average.
wood.
It's gonna roll on my screen agent someday.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good, right?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
And then that would be 2d8.
Mm-hmm.
7.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice. Does that do automatically, or do I need to add that?
If you click on your token and click the little heal button on the far right, it'll add it to you. Of the far right, that little thing in the chat log he just rolled. Or I guess I'm already here. I'll just hit it. There you
Oh.
go. Have 7 health.
Oh.
I'll be both at it. It's
Oh,
fine.
wait. We just doubled it.
Okay, I'll
We-
slap you for 7. It's got a little undo
We're-
button, but it's funnier to just slap you.
You still looking hurt?
Yeah, I'm down by 13.
Okay. Let's try again then.
Scale
20
of
minutes.
Okay.
Yo.
on a scale of 1 to 30, 80 is about a 25.
I mean, I don't want to get down to the weeds of the numbers, but yeah, that's very true. Wait, oh, yep. Oh, hey, I'll take that. You know what? That's cool. That's cool. Boom.
I mean,
Yep. I'm good.
That's-
I'm good.
20 minutes of Thalgrid smearing you with his magic healing mud and bandages.
I mean, I will do the add-on OnlyFans for that page to get that mud smeared on me for 20 minutes. I'm in. Let's go.
As you sit here on the outskirts of this town for, well, almost half an hour as Sirhan gets patched up, Varen very attentive on watch, scouting, making sure nothing's coming. Sirhan's sitting here, he's got nothing better to do than look. It's notably quiet. It's silent in here. You don't hear absolutely anything stirring. A cavern this size would surely have had some kind of cavernous wildlife from below come take up stead in here. There's plenty of good solid buildings, many of which look like they're still mostly intact. But you can see towards the center of the town and one taller building looming up on the opposite side of this village. That's not true of the whole town. That side and near the center seems to be pretty damaged, and a little bit closer to this central plaza area, you can see there are mounds, big shapes, just barely visible in the dim glow of things left piled or heaped on these roads.
that doesn't sound good.
Nothing for it but to do it, though. Are you heading towards the center, or are you going somewhere else? What's your goal here? What are you guys thinking? What's your tack?
Thalgrid's going to keep glancing across at that statue that you mentioned, because you said that was on a slightly higher.
Yeah, it's in that
raised dais,
plaza.
wasn't
It
it?
looks like it's at the middle of the town. Yeah.
I think we should go check that out. Does it
Yeah.
look to be the same size as the statue
It
that
looks
attacked us?
it looks significantly bigger than the one that attacked you.
Oh,
All right.
well, that's cool.
It's-
Maybe we should
Well,
actually avoid that.
I'm gonna sheath all my weapons and go running in.
You know, we should take our armor off
It's-
first, just to make sure it doesn't hear us.
It's hard to tell from here, but the statue looks like it is a good deal larger, and it's clearly a figure standing with one arm raised up over its head and something gripped in it. Its head does look pretty blocky from this distance, almost silhouetted in the darkness this far away, almost squared.
Okay.
But if you
Are there
all-
any other traces of this black metal anywhere? Can we see it in any of the buildings or?
You actually do. If you're looking for that, there is a little. It's around. It doesn't appear to be in the buildings itself, but around the outsides of some of these buildings, hanging in some windows, you see little pieces of it. You see bits reinforcing door frames in some places. You see bits on the edges of windows. You see what appears to be near one of these buildings. There is a rack with a couple of very squared dwarven mining picks lined up against them. The tips of the curved back end appear to be capped with a little bit of this black metal. It does look identical to what was on the statue.
I'm going to point that out because again, it kind of shows that it looks like that statue did come from here, or at least was made from here. I'm also going to take one of those picks with me,
Not a bad
strap it
idea.
onto my back.
Fair enough. Grabbing that, the group, you slowly make your way towards the center, and as you come closer to the statue, you can see it has stood atop what looks like it was once a fairly magnificent well or fountain that has, well, you would think run dry, but it's connected to some type of groundwater or undercurrent that is still keeping it full and just very gently moving to this day. The statue stood atop it, near 20 feet tall, is standing with a massive hammer clasped in one hand. Its handle small and stout, barely longer than the hand, but the head of the hammer itself almost as large as the head of the statue. Its other hand reaching down, palm up and open, as what appears to be bits of flame carved emanating out. The statue itself is clearly a dwarven figure, wearing a very similar squared, stout helmet to what the statue that you had been attacked by was wearing. In fact, the head looks similar, but much more intricate and detailed, both because it seems to have been carved more artistically and just because it is larger for a better reference of detail and scale. Investigators, can I get a religion check from you?
I don't know. I don't think it's from here.
Unrelated. This is...
I don't have the appropriate skill check, so I'm just guessing.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ironically, Ileana
is that a
knows
nat
this
20?
one. That's
How
a
is
Nat 20.
untrained. If you just drop
How
a 20
did
on the
I-
table, it doesn't matter how good you are.
I was not expecting that.
It still does, but a 20 definitely succeeds, and a nat 20 definitely makes it critically succeed. So, ironically, Ileana, I don't know why you recognize this. I don't know where in your life you came across this, but it is a depiction of Torag, but not the commonly accepted traditional one. This is an older depiction of Torag, much more literally as the god of caves and mining, as a protector of settlements like this.
I'll relate that to the party. I like to think that she probably just in her nomadic ways, she just came across it at some point in her life. That's how she knew about it.
They would be relatively common throughout older dwarven settlements like this up in the mountains, but almost unseen in modern society.
That's fair.
Yeah, a little bit shocked that the fighter A knows something and B knows something about Torag.
That was
I'm
gonna happen.
surprised it's a Torag.
The
I didn't
fighter
think we had
cat.
those deities.
I think Thalgur's definitely going to utter a little prayer to Torag to kind of protect us in your home and don't smite me with your big giant golem.
So, for clarity to what Jason said there, this is a world with no magic and basically zero divine interest. There are no, clerics. There is no divine magic. There are no fonts. There are no kinds of direct, visible influences of Torag or any other deities in the world. But there's a couple that have just taken some kind of a passing glance at this place. There is still some degree of worship. I mean, people still believe in things, and there's apparently the world came from somewhere, so there is still whatever debated origin. So there's still a couple. It's really only Torag, Callistria, Pharasma, and Desna here. And again,
So-
none of them take clerics. There is no
The
magic.
good ones.
So it's
So-
more pure faith rather than
Exactly.
divinity. as it were.
Exactly.
So what you're saying is the gods window shopped this world and were like, I don't think this is for us.
No, the gods are like, well, there's life. So, I mean, it's got dwarves. I like dwarves. I don't know what the gods are thinking, man.
As someone who has a lore skill in the boneyard because I went there once, that's good to know that Pharasma actually exists.
Yeah, no, I mean, Pharasma,
Yeah.
Pharasma's omnipresent. You just by the merit
Yeah.
of the cycle of souls can't have a world without
Yeah.
her. So at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
very least, she covers all.
Oh, all right.
The world's interesting enough to have a couple of other deities kind of glancing over, but not interesting enough for them to be like, you get magic. From the center of the town here, you can see that there's a couple larger buildings throughout the area. There's a couple large sort of sections. The area you've just come in from looks like it's probably just residential. Those are old abandoned homesteads. But on the other side of the town, the massive building that you could see right as you started to come through looks like a huge elder chapel of some kind. It's built with two wings out to either side of it, almost up off the ground, angled out like a trapezoid, like the whole building itself is some degree of reminiscent of an anvil. The front of it bearing a single massive gate that looks like it has been utterly bashed, but is still sealed. In front of it, it's kind of up on a raised section of the cavern. Looks like almost a little garden or forest. There is greenery, there is plant life there. It's not what you'd see on the surface. It's not trees and bushes, but it's a moss-like facsimile of a well-sculpted garden. Much of that is also trampled and damaged and has more of these large piles out in the distance. And from here, where you can see a couple of them are scattered around the edge, they are corpses. Not dwarven corpses, not human corpses, but troll corpses that look like they have been bashed and incinerated.
Wow, that bodes well.
Well, I can't imagine what happened to them.
Yeah.
Elsewhere throughout
is
the
fine.
village, you look like you're kind of adjacent to a large, fairly open market area. Back behind that is a place where many chimneys, smokestacks, and large metal grates, huge channels spread between buildings and sections that looks like it's a forge or a foundry. And further off towards the corner is a much more colorful, intricate set of buildings. The buildings themselves, works of art, standing clear and visible among and above much of the rest. It looks like once they were adorned even with great tapestries that look like they've been singed and burnt away. Much of this chaos is not really centralized, but sort of spread throughout the area. And again, it's not a huge village. It looks like it grew over time, but it doesn't look like more than a few dozen, probably well under 100 people could have realistically lived here. There is a couple of large caverns that contain roads spoking off from this central point that just head out into the darkness, into the mountains themselves, into old abandoned roads unknown. And as you look across all of those, you hear a sound coming back from the direction where you had approached. It's distant at first and quiet, but it's definitely approaching. Heavy, stoic metal bearing down on stone. Massive footsteps, as what certainly sounds like the statue from before making its way in the air into the area the same way that you all did.
Did we leave
Yes, he
that old
is.
guy in the mine?
Yes.
I would
Yeah,
assume.
I'm pretty
You-
sure we did.
Did you? Well,
Oh,
Did
I'll,
we get that
no.
old guy killed?
I'll assume
I
you
think so.
Would you have brought
He's
him
wily.
with you
Maybe he
into
went
this
and hid.
weird cave, or would you have left
Oh,
him
wait.
back there to hide somewhere?
Squiiddish.
some-
Yeah, it's
You
muted
muted
Would
again.
you have left him back there to hide, or would you have brought him into a weird abandoned settlement? Which would you have figured would be safer?
I think
fair,
we had
you-
him next to that the minecart setup
You
thing.
did
He
while you
was
were
hunkered
fighting,
down
but
there.
like because I kind of flew over it, if you would have brought him with you, he would be kind of behind at a safe distance, but following along. Up to you guys, what you thought would have been a better idea.
That would actually make sense because realistically, at the end of that fight with the spider, I ran back into that chamber where he was.
Right.
Yeah.
So I finished the fight, actually stood next to him. So
You were clearly
We would've
keeping
then-
tabs on him. You guys didn't just like abandon him unless you
Yeah.
were like, stay
She's like,
here.
okay,
This
see
cave
ya.
looks weird.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so
I feel like
it
we
makes
probably
sense
would
we
have
were.
made him hide, but
Yeah, it makes sense we would have gone on together.
Mm-hmm.
or do that.
But it's two
Yeah.
different things. Did you go in together?
that's
Did you
what I
have
was-
him hide?
I feel like
Okay.
we wouldn't have left him there when
Okay.
when we left
So
that
he would
area.
be-
That's what I
Alright.
I
think.
agree.
He'd be sticking kind of close to you here, Rhinus, the only survivor you found in the mine, hearing that and looking to you with fear. Where do we go?
Oh, great.
What do we do? We can't stay here in the open.
This thing came from here. Perhaps there are weapons here that we could use to kill it.
I'm going to unheft the pickaxe. I'm wondering if this might do the job. Look at the tip on that.
Well, if
Wait,
you want
this
to
is a
try and
family
take him
stream,
down
Steve.
with a pick by yourself, that's your your choice
Oh,
to make.
no.
But I'm hiding, and Rhinus immediately kind of limping along, starts to shuffle off towards that kind of open market. There's a lot of what look like there were once smaller shops and stalls and buildings together, and it looks like the closest place he can just find somewhere to hide.
I think I want to head over to the forge area and see if there are any finished weapons there or any of this metal that I could use to make some bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd
I agree
be
with that.
same direction through the bazaar. So you all heading off that way?
Yeah.
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 At least getting away from the mouth of the cave.
Fair enough.
Or like where you can see
Yeah.
it.
And I keep glancing back as well at the chapel, because that's an awfully big chapel for a small town.
It is. It's very large, and with no investigation check needed, now that Ileana has pointed out this old figure of Torag, you can look around and see a lot of the buildings, and even inlaid into the road itself, another older variant of one of Torag's symbols. It looks like this settlement may have been less of just a town and more perhaps of a cloister, even some sort of a monastery. The chapel is huge for how big this area is. It must have been a very religious settlement. All of you move. Oh, sorry.
Do we see any signs that the chapel itself has been breached? It sounds like it was battered, but
Yeah, the
has it
front
been
doors,
broken
even
open?
from here, look like they have been bashed to the point where they are like crumpled hunks of metal, but they are closed. They're in a closed position.
So the statue, wherever it was, it wasn't in the chapel. The front doors of it aren't like blown open.
Right.
All right. So we don't really know where it came from yet.
You haven't seen any indication of where it's emerged from, no.
Is there any sort of trail of destruction winding its through here, or are there just a bunch of dead trolls?
The more you look from here in the center of the village, and as you move out of this circle, out of the main roads, into this bazaar, through it to the forge, if that's where you're going, to some kind of shelter, the more you find signs of destruction. It's sort of chaotic and everywhere. There are dead trolls, and you start to also find dead dwarves. The dwarves, however, unilaterally look like they are unburnt. They are the first not charred and blackened corpses that you have found. They look like they were bitten and clawed apart, not pulverized by some kind of bludgeoning. I don't know. Statue hands is probably a solid guess.
Yeah.
I
Does
don't know
it
about that.
Do these bodies look very old?
The bodies that are left down here are strangely preserved, because the trolls, it's the ground that's blackened around them and the bones that are busted. They are all but skeletal. They've been here so long. But the dwarves, again, seem to be mostly intact, as if they simply haven't rotted away.
Can I make a like a forensics roll? I don't
would-
actually have forensic medicine, but like
Yeah.
a medicine check to look at the bodies and.
Well, the two investigators, as you guys get off the road here, make me medicine checks. Both of you can throw me just like medicine as knowledge.
All right, here comes a natural 20.
Oh.
Whoa! I rolled a good one.
Oh.
That's the only one for the night.
Oh,
Wow!
That was
This
really
is-
close.
It's the opposite of the dice last time. Banging.
You rolled at 19? Oh my god.
Yeah, you know.
Thalgrid, looking at the corpses of these dwarves, this is strange. Obviously, there are some religions and some cultures that preserve dead. There are things like formaldehyde that can do such a thing, but this doesn't smell like that. This doesn't look like that. These look like they're just dead bodies that have been left here. The blood has all but run out of them from their wounds, leaving dark stains on the floor and matted into their skin and clothes, but they just haven't rotted. Sometimes underground, there is surely less exposure to a lot of the flying insects of the surface that can, and a lot of the flying scavengers of the surface that can easily and quickly pull corpses apart. And the caves have a little bit less of that. But this is, they're not decomposing. In fact, as you looked at them with a 26, the flesh itself is almost freshly killed. It's still soft, even though it's clearly been here for what must be the better part of, if not an entire century. Ileana, with a 19, looking at the trolls, those give you a much greater concept of timescale here. These have rotted away perfectly normally, to just bones and little vestiges of sinew left behind.
Wait, have the dwarves they have like rigor mortis yet, or is it like their skin is still?
They
like,
don't
are
even.
They stiff?
Yeah, they're not even stiff. Their limbs are still movable.
So,
This is
Are they-
wrong. Look,
is the meat still fresh? No, I'm not going to eat the dead dwarfs, I swear. Not again.
Not this time. Dan, did you just sub me? Are you trying
Dude,
to bribe me?
You got caught up in the world. Look, I didn't do that on purpose, but look, if you got caught up in it, then it just means that it was on purpose, and you know, it's not on purpose. But
Well, why don't you make
maybe
me a
just
perception
give me a
check
better
real
roll.
quick, Dan? While they're looking at
No,
these
I-
bodies, what are you seeing with your eyes?
What do you
What-
see with your elf eyes?
What do they see? Is this do you want this to be a secret roll?
You can just public roll it.
Okay.
Unless it's, I really stay away from blind rolls unless it's like a knowledge about an enemy or something where critical failure's involved
That's
for
fair.
funny
That's fair.
things. 18 total. You hear this stomping, never really get that much closer, though it is moving through the town. It's certainly, if not the statue, a statue, whereas it's traveling towards the other corner of this settlement. And you see up in the distance, through the dim glow of these patches of this grass-like moss across the walls and the ceiling of this cave, which is not that much higher than the buildings themselves, a large looming figure step through the garden out front of this chapel, up to the doors, and seemingly effortlessly just push them in and enter. It's a lumbering, barely animated figure, moving much like the statue you'd seen, but strangely, when it enters, the door closes behind it.
When you say much like the statue, do you mean exactly like the statue?
Pretty
Yeah, I know.
exactly. It'd be believable
okay.
it was probably the statue, but it's dark and it's pretty
Okay.
far and it's an 18,
Okay.
so like it's
Was it
probably
there?
the statue.
Was it making noise? Did we hear it?
You heard nothing but footsteps, which now are far enough away that you don't hear them anymore.
Okay.
Huh.
So you are
Well, maybe it
moving.
went back in the chapel and turned off. It's fine.
It's tired.
Yeah.
It's tired now. It has
Had
to
to get
recharge.
charge.
You said you were moving through into the forge, correct? That's where most of you
Yeah.
were going.
Mm-hmm.
Are you eager to get
Maybe
away
it's like
from
a
the
giant Roomba needs to go.
yeah.
It's a murder Roomba. It's fine.
a murder Roomba. I
The more
love
we
it.
explain, we search this place, the less I'm thinking this was a market town. This is a monastery. The houses, everything here was to serve that chapel.
Mm.
As you move into this foundry area, you can see many of these buildings, these smokestacks, these channels are built to move very, very hot, molten ore, molten stone from place to place. But most of these are not traditional smithing foundries. They don't look like the kind of structure that you would use to smelt iron or copper or other metals. They look instead like they are much more focused, meant to heat up something much smaller and maybe not necessarily to a melting point. The channels are set up in an odd way. They don't flow into work areas, but almost seem like a runoff or a sluice for excess or waste, which was coming out in a molten form. Around here, you see much alchemical equipment mixed in with the forge equipment, but no signs of any immediately workable tools or anything. Investigators, I'm going to say an alchemist's favorite words. I need a crafting check.
Ooh,
Excellent.
heck yeah. I'm actually good at that one.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at crafting too. I'll take a look around.
And that sounds about right. Yep.
You're only good at
That's a
things you're
two.
not good at. We're canonically
Exactly.
establishing that. As
Sounds about
expected,
right.
the alchemist destroyed everybody. This is the way that things should be working, there is justice in the world of the 27. As you look at this, Thalgrid, it looks like a system to work with a metal. Much of the heat is not meant to be applied to the subject metal. This area is working directly. In fact, it looks like whatever metal was worked in here, it was worked more in the alchemical setups, where there's not so much coal forges and situations to make a lot of heat, but collections of distillated and refined acids, as well as a large setup of a system involving a bunch of pumps and pulleys and complicated machinery that did very much the opposite. It made things very, very cold, to the point of being freezing or perhaps even well below. It's difficult to tell how effective it would have been. This freezing station is in an area where it looks like there's more traditional anvils, chisels, working and shaping tools.
I will point that out and also remind them that when I threw the acid vial at the statue, it seemed to slow it. So it seems that the alchemical acids make the metal more pliable, and maybe cold temperatures actually make it workable.
Or perhaps brittle enough to be shattered.
It just so happens I have flasks of both.
Are there more supplies here? Can we look around for more alchemical weapons that we might be able to use on this thing?
It looks like much of what's left here wasn't stored to be long term. So with how long this place has been abandoned, any of the alchemical reagents that were here have run off, have evaporated, have simply gone inert. Perhaps if you could find an area where they were prepared more directly, there might still be something usable. By the time they reached here, it was finishing stages. You also see one more thing of note, which with a 20 I'll give to Varen. A lot of these heating areas do seem to have some purpose. They look like they weren't used so much for sculpting or for working, but for combining, for repairing. You get the sense that applications of heat weren't able to make, combined with what Thalgrid said, weren't able to make whatever they were working in here malleable or usable, but were actually used for the opposite, to reinforce it, to make it stronger.
Well, we don't want to do that.
Yeah, no.
With that, though, there doesn't appear to be much else here of use. There are some more dwarven bodies that look like they were set upon by some trolls. And there are, in fact, 2 trolls that look like they were just sitting here when they were absolutely destroyed. They don't even look like they had an opportunity or the thought to fight back, both of them having been mercilessly crushed and seared by almost certainly the statue. These wounds are perfectly matching what you found in the mines outside. But perhaps there would be something in one of the other buildings or areas of the town that might be useful to you.
So, aside from the dwarven corpses not being rotted away, I mean, does it possibly fit a narrative here that the trolls broke into this place, started slaughtering the dwarves, and the dwarves, in an act of desperation, activated this statue that then just murdered everything?
I mean, do you want to answer for me, or you throw this to the party?
I was mostly talking to the rest of the party. I don't see anything that contradicts that, but it seems like the trolls invaded this place.
It does look like it was maybe the Doomsday device.
Yeah, and
they activate it. Let's get out. Let's get out of here. Whatever. Yeah.
If I'm going to hell, I'm taking you with me, sort of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right.
The other 2 areas, well, the chapel looks like it might currently be occupied, but the other 2 areas, you came through the market. If you're looking for things that were abandoned, things that might still be left behind, that open bazaar might be useful. And there's also notable that larger building off to the side, the very colorful, ornate, very well designed and intricate, looks like an art museum or something.
Yeah, we should check out the bazaar and then go to that building.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the bazaar.
Mm-hmm.
Heading into the bazaar here, making your way back a little bit towards this center of the town. I imagine Serhane keeping his eyes up towards that, or at least occasional glances up towards that chapel to see if that thing comes back out.
Yeah,
You find
I'm
a large,
definitely keeping that in my peripherals for sure.
kind of sprawling series of somewhat permanent stalls and smaller workshops and buildings of a variety of uses. Much of it looks like it was centered around simply food and materials for living. There's several pottery kilns and workshops. There are quite a few little fixtures of automated, what look like hydraulic stone mills, or areas that were certainly distribution centers for food. But there is more than that. It's your turn, Serhane. I need a perception check here.
Let's go. Here we go.
Bayless.
Come on. Oh,
Heck yeah.
24.
24 solid. Earlier, Valgrid was looking for more signs of that black metal, and here, there's actually quite a bit. It's not super obvious, it's just kind of scattered throughout the area. It looks like they had a pretty good amount of this, and it's worked into a lot of small devices. It's in the heads of hammers and the teeth of saws. It's made into small nails and tacks and bolts. There is a good amount of it scattered all throughout the bazaar. You find a couple bits here, a couple pieces there, and with it small in your possession, it's something you can really look at instead of little bits of accents and buildings and, you know, a statue trying to punch you to death. It would be more reasonable to attempt to figure out what it is or learn some more about it. In addition, the tools that come along with this, the tools that have these heads, these tips, are very, very well made. They're intricate and incredibly useful, and could possibly be used with a skilled hand to improve several of your own weapons, to inlay them in what would be, to save us some time, this world's functional equivalent of a striking rune.
Nice.
That's
Say,
fun.
say the what now?
Finally, there is one intact suit of what look like a set of several, what appears to be, it might be old mining gear, it might be something that was worn in the forge. It's something protective, but it's thick, it's big, it's incredibly heavy, and it's very, very well made. Almost an amalgam of stone and metal into something closer to a hazmat suit than armor. This would be functionally a set of +1 full plate for anything that was trying to do bad things to you.
I mean, if you're a fighter type, it might be pretty cool to wear that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
wouldn't say
I can't
no.
see a gunslinger, a rogue, or an alchemist.
No,
I-
not.
Putting it to much use.
we're gonna see Chitara in full plate. Like
I have
that's what's
never,
gonna happen right
I've never
now.
put an item on a loot table more clearly directed at one single person before, but you know, here we are.
You know.
you know.
I mean, if you
I'm
found a
excited
gun,
about
maybe,
this.
but like,
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, I don't know if it's gonna be useful. I probably won't wear it.
it is a match.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it doesn't go with my style.
you got a lot of
Does it
supplies.
come in
and-
orange?
You got a lot of supplies and resources here, and you have some opportunities to do a couple of things. There are enough materials and tools for you to attempt to inlay up to 3 weapons with what again would be the masterwork, the equivalent of a striking rune. You could try up to 3 to make them a little bit better. And additionally, there is a wide spread of these nails, these tool heads, these bolts, just little errant bits of what becomes apparent with a closer examination to be pretty pure adamantine. It clearly was quite abundant in the tunnels that this settlement was attached to.
So So then when you say that the tools might make it able for us to infuse our weapons and stuff, is that a crafting check? Can
That would
somebody
be
do that here?
a crafting check and 10 minutes of time to try to basically improve one of your weapons to become a striking weapon.
I would
We
love
have
Jerry
three
to be
people.
improved.
And you
With
mentioned
the
there was some
crafting.
like some other parts of it as well, some raw parts. Would it be possible to make any bullets out of any of these parts?
With what's available here, these small bits, you can't make like an entire blade out of it, but you can absolutely, you have adamantine tools to work smaller adamantine bits. You can chip off little bits and pieces of things that you could certainly fire out of Veyron's gun. Surely you could make some workable, functional adamantine bullets.
And
I am interested in this.
if they explode and blow his hand off, it's not my fault. It was clearly his guns
That's
that were
fine.
at fault.
But we do clearly have 3 weapons that could use this enhancement. My gun, Jerry.
Let's make
Jerry.
Let's make Jerry better. Let's
Jerry,
go.
my guy.
And Ileana, does your name have a weapon? Or does your weapon have a name? Does your name have a weapon?
Color slasher. No, I don't know.
Slasher.
Stabber. I hardly know her. Anyway.
Oh god.
Okay.
There it is.
Well, I do have a question though. So my +1 short sword, if it's a striking rune, does it not stack then with the +1?
They do different things. +1 gives you that bonus to your attack roll. Striking
right.
doubles your weapon damage, so that your short sword, instead of dealing d6 damage, would deal 2d6 damage.
Okay.
It's a pretty big bump.
I also have a really cool axe. But the short sword would be fun.
Well, you get 3
I mean,
tries at
whichever
whatever it
weapon
is. You
you're
get
gonna
3
use more
attempts
often, yeah.
for whatever you end up getting this to work on.
Go on, I'm going to go in the order of my cameras then. So I'm going to go for Chilissa's weapon first. So whether your sword or your axe.
Oh gosh, which one should I do? We'll do my short sword. My short sword.
Give me a crafting check.
23.
23.
23 will absolutely succeed. With these incredible tools and what's left over here in the bazaar, +1 short sword becomes a +1 striking short sword.
Ooh. Heck yeah,
Var-
okay.
Yeah. Next up we have Varen's gun. Please do not
Oh,
let
so-
me mess up
Believe, Varen.
Jason's gun. That would be embarrassing.
Believe.
Don't worry, if you break it, I just can't do anything the rest of the
Ooh.
Oh, look at that.
Ooh,
Ooh,
28.
solid.
Nice.
Ooh.
28. Put it on the board.
28 almost critically succeeds. Easily gonna be able to enhance the barrel. You got some workable adamantine bullets, and you have a +1 striking gun. Now,
Oh,
Nice.
plus
Yeah.
1 shooting? I don't know.
+1 shooting.
And then
Hey,
come on.
Thelgrid, buddy. Let's do some cool things with Jerry here. Don't mess it up, please.
There's the cool things with Jerry.
This one's for you. This one's for Jerry.
He doesn't want to be left out of the cool kids club.
Put a 20 on the board. Let's go. Let's go.
Put her down. Put Jerry on the table. Step away.
I step. Yeah. All right.
And there it is.
Is it 17? Is that bad? Did you
Oh,
ruin
no.
Jerry?
Jerry,
Do
no.
you want to? I guess do you want to keep it? I said you guys all had a hero point, so like if you want to keep
Yeah,
17,
I'm
you
good.
keep it, or
I'm gonna hero point it. I couldn't face the tears. So
You
hey,
can't
if I
ruin
was
Jerry.
having
It's a
some-
pretty
Poor
good use of
Jerry.
it. Pretty good use of a hero point. That does not succeed.
Oh no.
What?
Oh no!
Does that,
That
also
one,
fail?
no,
18?
that one succeeds.
Oh, it only went up by
Oh, yeah,
one.
the DC was 18. It's never.
Yeah.
It's not 18.
Oh no.
Yeah, my 28 was almost a crit. Oh.
Can anyone have been aiding him on these checks, by the way?
I would
yeah.
absolutely let someone aid him.
I have a
because
craft of +7.
He is
I mean,
one
I'm
off.
Oh, yeah,
trying-
you
He's
should. I'm only
one off.
+6. You should know.
Damn it.
Veyron, get in there, buddy. No way, he's
A
one
nice-
off the aid.
Oh my god. Hero point. Hero point. No, wait,
We have the double one off.
Was the aid DC 20?
It's
It
fixed
is,
at
isn't
20.
it?
Yeah, aid's always 20.
Yeah.
That's not a. That's
You
not
wrote
a,
that rule, Jason.
I'll hero point it.
Does someone like to aid his aid?
I'm out.
I'll-
I got nothing. I'm out.
I'm gonna use my hero points to re-roll the aid.
It's so much effort. Jerry,
Wait, but
we're working so hard for Jerry.
oh my
wait.
god,
Oh, no.
I'm out. I'm
Yeah.
out. I'm done.
Oh
I'm done.
no.
Fates have spoken.
Jerry's not gonna make it. Unfortunately, it's a little harder with a rapier than a gun somehow. Like, a short sword's easy, right? You've got to work to blades, you've got tools for inlaying and reinforcing alchemically. A gun barrel, ironically, is weirdly easy because it's just a delivery system. Rapier, it's just harder to do. It's a thin rolled blade. It's really just a point. You're not gonna be able to enhance Jerry with the striking ability.
Apparently.
Oh man.
Damn it.
R.I.P. Jerry.
It was
Well, I guess
fun.
he's
You'd
still
gone-
around.
If you had a good dwarven blade, I would have made something from it. But look at this. I can only work
Oh.
with the materials you give me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we blame the master, not the tools, right? Isn't that how what we're supposed to do?
I
Yeah,
just
it's
stepped back.
Jerry's
I just stepped back from the forge, being like, "Yeah, why'd you mess that up, Thalgrim?"
Yeah.
Take your bullets, Baron.
Yeah, how many of those bullets do I have?
Honestly, there are a pretty decent wealth of small bits. Again, the nails are fairly plentiful. You could make almost as many as you could reasonably need out of this. The little bits of adamant aren't really in limited supply.
Yeah, all right. Then I just give me buckets.
With your experiences with this statue the first time, if you were to try to fight it, you all kind of think back to the several crits doing no damage. It may be worth trying to figure out. Bullets are easy. It's a little harder with a rapier, an axe, a short sword, but it may be worth trying to figure out how you could use this to enhance your own weapons. You're not gonna be able to exactly just melt it down and line your blade with it, but if this works, swinging it's gonna be a real big help.
Hopefully.
Well,
not.
my crafting is not great, so I don't know if I can do anything.
It's a good thing we have a party, right?
Mm.
Good thing we have friends.
And we, all three of us, the others,
it-
have pretty decent
it's-
crafting.
And it's worked out great for me so far. So that's
Yeah.
awesome.
What are you gonna do, scrub Jerry again? I mean,
What could possibly go wrong?
with the two people investigating, I'm not really gonna make you roll for it. With how resistant the statue is to damage, even if hypothetically you tried to find a way to use crafting to put a little bit of an adamantine bite on Jerry and failed, it would literally be better to go in there with like an adamantine dagger or even just like an adamantine mining pick than your enhanced magical rapier that didn't have any kind of adamantine bite to it.
Well, I do have a good dagger too. His name's Benjamin. We can do something with Benjamin.
Oh, we got a bench.
A very finely crafted dagger named Benjamin.
What do you guys want to do? Because again, you got the easy cop out on bullets. What are Serhane and Ilyana gonna do with what's available in your weapons? You got adamantine tool heads, you got tips, you've got again small nails and bolts and stuff. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean,
Look,
so
you use a crossbow, didn't you?
I have a really nice bow. I have a really nice bow.
So what
Oh,
about
yeah, the
some,
hunter's bow or whatever.
Some arrows.
some arrowheads?
Oh yeah. Oh, that
That's
sounds
a-
great. Hey.
Yeah.
I would love arrows. Yeah, let's do that.
That'd be also quite. I think it's similar to bullets. That's easy enough. I don't even think that really requires a crafting check. You literally have adamantine nails. You just kind of put them on the arrows and call it a day. Get some
Nice.
thick rivets and fire away.
All right. Yeah, I'll get my hunter's bow ready, and then I'll gather up like I don't know, as many as I can fit in my quiver.
Again, not really a shortage of the metal.
Okay,
How about
perfect.
you, Ileana, how can you work with your weapons?
Well, I've been using it, I guess, more. I'll put like I'll put like the tip, like the capper on the edge of my sword, I guess, on the end of my sword, because I've been stabbing mainly, or using like piercing damage. Versus
You
slash.
looking through the tools available here, that pick actually that Dahlgrid brought down, the adamant tip on the back of it itself is a bit of a cap. It's hollow. The steel of the rest of the pick head just bores into the middle of it to support it. With a decent enough crafting check, that could possibly be adapted to fit on the tip of your blade. It would require kind of ripping the pick apart, though.
Well,
Go try them picks, and I'm sure there'll be others.
all right. Well, let's give it a go. I'm only a +6.
If only there was a crafter in the party.
This is your
there?
moment.
I
This is your
haven't
moment to
seen evidence
shine.
of that.
This here, the bazaar is absolutely. This is the crafting moment. I'm here. I'm party support. I'm a crafter and I'm proud. Oh no.
Oh,
I'm gonna
my
cry and go
God.
back to that
Oh.
temple.
I'm a crafter and I'm not as
Is
proud.
that a 1? Is that a 1?
That's a nat
That was a
one.
1.
You try to adapt this.
Shit.
You try to adapt this for the tip of Ileana's sword, and you get it on there. That absolutely works. It's on there. It kind of looks like, you ever put bugles on tips of your fingers and
Yeah.
have the little claw hands? It sort of looks like that, and yet somehow actually worse. Dahlgrid goes about this very directly. It's already got a hole in it. Put it on the edge of the blade, clamp the blade, and just kind of hammer it on there.
10 out of 10. No notes. Perfect.
Perfect. Perfect.
I'll hand it back to you with a big smile on my face. There you go, Lassie. That'll serve you well.
Oh,
As you,
thank you.
as you look at your
I,
blade, not only is the blade itself kind of cracked and folded a little bit, it's a bit bent. Like
Yeah, that sounds about right.
this tip is not sharp.
I'm gonna start taking a closer look at my gun to make sure he didn't secretly screw it up somehow, like he put a nail through the barrel or something.
But this action here, this hammering on, is pretty loud. This takes a good amount of force, and all this work you've been doing here, this last effort to get the bugle on the finger, rings out through the town. And Sirhane, as you're searching here, you would see both of the doors to the chapel flap open, and in the distance, a good way across the village, some probably 150 feet out, the statue stiffly emerge and make its way down the stairs. It's moving your general direction, but it doesn't look like it has seen you specifically. It's just heading to the bazaar.
Dahlgrid, stop your terrible crafting. You're going to get us killed.
When you say terrible crafting, Sirhane's gonna be like, no, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that's true, yeah.
It's like,
Gonna-
don't worry, everyone. We have a blacksmith at home.
You hear these thunderous footsteps approaching as all of you quickly drop behind counters, duck behind corners, out of view as well as you can, but it is coming. What do you do?
Keep hiding? I don't know.
I mean,
We
I
haven't
think
checked out that ornate building yet.
As it comes down the steps through the garden, it does dip kind of into the village itself. It doesn't like constantly have a continuous view of the bazaar. It comes down into the village, into the streets, and you lose sight of it, and it loses sight of the bazaar. You just hear the footfalls coming.
Shall we race over to the other building and take shelter
Maybe.
inside?
Do you think it's
I
gonna
really
go there
think we
though?
should. Well, here's the
Yeah,
thing.
it's fine
If it doesn't, that's okay, because then maybe we can kind of get like a little bit of a trap on it. Like we can
So
kind of
Is-
surprise it.
Is
On
the
Ileana's sword. Just sorry, just quickly. Ileana's sword, I succeeded on the first thing because I did her
Right.
sword first. Then I did Jason's gun.
Mhm.
But then I've then tried to add the cap onto presumably the same sword.
Yes.
Or was that a separate weapon?
So
Right,
what
okay.
you have is it is a +1 striking short sword still, and it's gonna count as adamantine. It's just maybe not gonna be as great at hitting. It's not really sharp or balanced anymore.
Because the statue was really easy to hit.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Don't worry, I do have an axe.
It is still usable, but you've also got the axe either way.
Oh well, I guess it doesn't have animation on it though. So
Fair enough.
Does
Is
it look
the-
like there are places that I can maybe climb and hunker like behind like a facade in front or something like that? So I
Yeah,
can
it
maybe
doesn't
get...
seem like it'd be super difficult to clamber up many of these buildings. They are fairly squat dwarven architecture. Again, the cave's not that tall. None of these are multi-story buildings. Even the chapel itself, while it looms over, is just up in a raised bit of the cave and maybe like a story and a half worth of large. Most of its imposing stature is due to the fact that it's on raised ground.
Okay, and how far apart from each other are they from next door to next door? Are we like 20 feet?
Probably like 15
10
feet,
feet?
15 feet.
15. Dang. Okay.
It's
yeah,
a relative, again,
perfect.
it's a fairly small village.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. It's jumpable.
It is jumpable.
Are you going
Yeah.
up?
yeah.
Because it sounded
Um,
like Veyron is scampering over towards the last building, and it's coming closer. You got a moment before this thing just comes around into view. So choice got to be made real quick.
Okay, I go ornate building. I wanna see what's in there.
Ileana's scampering away.
I'm gonna climb on top. If I can, I'm gonna climb on top of that building.
Okay.
The ornate building.
Yeah, I got the impression there might be something I can duck behind on top, but is that not right?
I mean, it's fairly flat on the top. You just, from the fact that you
Okay.
have the high ground, can use the edge of the roof to duck behind. You don't even need like a raised crenellation or anything.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Dan is always trying to get the high ground. He knows
I-
that's how to win.
Well, he's stuck with a
You're gonna
bow
call
now,
me
so we might as well.
Daniken.
As it sounds like we're
You were
all
the chosen one.
scampering towards this last building. Can you make a dwarf that doesn't speak Dwarvish in Pathfinder? Thalgrid, you speak Dwarven, right?
Sure.
I do, yes.
Okay, I
do.
wasn't sure if that was an option. Coming in, there is a plate, a brass plate above what appears to be the main entrance to this building that reads Cosmodi Artisans Guild. 3 of you head in through these doors, out of sight, the footfalls seeming to approach the bazaar where you just were. Sir Hain hurries up the outside of the building onto the top. So give me a climb check, see how quickly, adroitly you get up there while this thing's just about to come into view.
That athletics?
Yes. Athletics to climb, sorry.
17.
17 will do it. 17 will get you up the
Let's
side.
go.
The other 3 of you come into an area that looks like it was dedicated to a great many crafts. Artisans Guild, indeed. From tapestry to painting to alchemy itself. This seems to be one half an area of artistic expression and adventure, and one half an area of production. One that looks like it was supplying a lot of the raw alchemical goods, creating a lot of the tools and things that were directly necessary, not out of adamantine, the stonework for the buildings themselves. A large part of this is just different areas for production and crafting and work of different mediums. Immediately, I assume, to at least Thalgrid, the alchemical area seems like it could possibly be useful. As I said, if you get more to the root of the supply for the foundry, you might find something you can use.
He is heading straight to it.
Well, the other 2 of you. Following him?
Yeah.
In the back, there are many varied production facilities. Great vats that once held a large, like almost industrial quantities of these various productions, these various creations. Metal piping working between a huge, dizzying variety of mechanisms and machines. There are also smaller, more table-sized traditional glassware alembics and retorts sat around, and a lot of raw ingredients that are still present. And Thalgrid, literally being an alchemist, I will just give you immediately recognize, you could use a lot of what is left here in its raw, its base form, to create a good supply of a great many things. As a matter of fact, you could use this to make near any... making things that you throw and they go boom is easier than you would think it is. It's actually the fail state for making a lot of other things. You can make usable throwables of a wide variety of things. You can make acid flasks, you can make alchemist's fire, you can make bottled lightning, frost vials, thunderstones. They may be not particularly potent as you're having to work relatively quickly and with ancient ingredients, but you could make a pretty decent number of them, and I'll give you another little loot cache here that you can just look through.
Fantastic.
Infused reagents. They're just failed alchemy that's only half done.
It's fine.
Yeah, with Want and Abandon, I am going to start brewing up potions and things whilst this thing is getting closer to us.
Now, Sirene, as you're on the roof, you see it does look like it's clearly heading toward the sounds you were making. It looks like it sort of stumbles, staggering over into the bazaar area, but it doesn't go directly to where you were. It doesn't seem to be perceptive enough to even have put together where specifically the sound came from, nor does it seem to notice any of the changes you've made to the area. It's pretty obvious where the group of you were working. You abandoned it very quickly, but it doesn't process that. It doesn't understand. It just kind of starts slowly stumbling around the bazaar, almost just patrolling.
Okay, so and it and that was my question. It definitely looks like it's just patrolling. It's not
It does.
doing anything more than that. Okay. All right. Well, let's see. So when if it looks like it's coming towards us with a purpose, or anything like that, I think I'm gonna try to like knock on the floor, which would be the ceiling from where they are below, to try to be like, hey,
Right.
stuff's going down. So everybody prepare.
So with Thalgrid's work here, with what are effectively a bunch of infused reagents, you guys see you have already yoinked all of the acid flasks. This case here that I have just put before you is all of the things that he could easily brew pretty quickly. The stations are crafted to do something similar to this. It's not exactly this. He's doing the quick method for sure, but anything that you want to take out of this, he could easily create.
I've got to put 4 of the frost vials onto the counter and kind of look across to Varian and say, if you're right, laddie, about this making them brittle, maybe you should take some of these.
I will.
And I have one of those too. I already have a frost vial from somewhere. I think
We found one
somewhere. Yeah, that's right.
You found one, you might have started with one. Yeah, it could be a great number of places. But as you scramble to pick up and create and hand out what you can here, after a couple of minutes of this, Sirhane, this statue just sort of aimlessly stomping around the bazaar, you see it just meander back almost towards the main forge area you had been in as well, but towards the side of it, almost away from this building that you're in. And it stomps down a little ways, putting more distance between it and you. If it's trying to find you, it clearly has absolutely no idea where you've gone.
Okay.
And in just a few steps, it's actually back out of view. Out of view of you, out of view of this building, out of view of the chapel across the center area on the other quadrant of this little village.
Okay. So I wonder if it's doing a velociraptor thing where I'm supposed to be watching it and I'm like, oh, it's cool, it's out of space, and then it's gonna like basically sneak in from the side. So I'm on hyper vigilant alert now. I'm not falling for that. I'm watching now.
You're not gonna get outsmarted by a literal pile of rocks.
No. Clever statue. And
The
then it's just
rest
gonna
of you
kill me.
inside, quickly looking through the area, after about 10 minutes of this golem very slowly just sort of meandering its way around before Sirhain sees it go out of sight, realize there doesn't appear to be anything else in here that would be very useful to you besides these alchemical tools. These would hopefully be helpful, but most of this was dedicated to, again, stonemasonry and works of actual art. And unless you plan on creating something so beautiful, the statue has moved the tears, that's not going to help you right now.
All right, So, wait, are you guys gonna stay inside there until it? Are you like barricade, or are you guys planning to come back out?
I guess I'm going to be here for a while because I'm brewing stuff up.
It'd probably
That's
take
true,
you
yeah.
10, 15 minutes to brew up all that. It's mostly done with the reagents that you have, so it doesn't take nearly as long as scratch crafting things. Where the statue is right now, Sirhan, where you saw it disappear, it's almost it's a big triangle of 3 locations in the village. There's the Artisans Guild where you are. There is across one street, there is the chapel, and then down the other way, there is the statue itself. You're all kind of equidistant from each other. If even the statue's a little further at this point from you and the chapel.
Okay. And that's like the main, like, circuit that
Right.
would go through this whole thing.
The rest of it just looks like it's little homes.
Yeah. Okay.
Those are the notable
Could it-
buildings you can see. Again, it's not a huge village.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm still gonna keep watch then. I'm just gonna basically have that vial handy and then have my arrows handy just in case. We'll see what happens.
Fair enough.
But my whole thing is I don't want to try to like give up my position to lose
Right.
the advantage of secrecy kind of thing, you know.
You have the advantage of secrecy. You also cannot see or hear the statue anymore. It has gotten too far away.
Okay.
And kind of like I said,
Okay,
around
fair.
the corner of the main forge. So you can still look that
That makes
direction,
sense.
but you don't currently see it.
Okay.
So do we have the tools to take? Do we think we have the tools to take this thing down? I'm talking to the rest of the party. We should spread out. Prevent it from using that flame breath on all of us all at once.
Yeah, that's probably a good
I
point.
I agree. Maybe if
think
he's
that
if he's
we're-
the protector of this place, he may be a little bit more hesitant to smash through the walls as well. Use the
Oh,
buildings to advantage.
There is that. I didn't think about that
Yeah, I
at
didn't
all.
think
Okay.
about that either. That's a good idea.
Smart.
And Ileana and Sirhain, you should stock yourselves up on these bottles. I don't think they'll explode on you.
I'm on the roof, man. I'm not even
Sarah's
close.
upstairs.
Well,
We'll come
I
and
ain't
toss
climbing
them
up
up
to you.
here.
No, I'm not gonna have those. I've already decided I'm watching out for everything.
Well, now that I've got that gear, I'm going to come out, and if you're on that building, I'm going to try and find a building nearby, but not too nearby, that I can climb up and be on the roof as well.
And if I can't hear this thing walking around, I assume it's safe to talk to each other, and we're probably going to be okay. But I'm still going to try to be quiet. But I'm just basically going to say, look, my whole thing is I'm just going to try to stay rooftop to rooftop if I can, and I'm just going to try to like hide and take shots when I can, and then move to another spot. Like that's the only thing I think that I've got going for me right now.
And you really don't want to be taking any of these potions. You don't think being on the roof and lobbing the potions down might be of aid?
I don't even know about the potions. I'm up top.
Man's on the
watching.
roof, unless you guys are going outside, like shouting up
I
at the
haven't gone
roof at him.
inside at all.
I mean, we're coming back out at this point.
Okay,
There's
so the
nothing
whole
else in
group's
there.
outside
Yes.
the area, right?
Okay, yeah. So if everybody's coming, I didn't hear if anyone was coming out or not.
Yeah,
so I
no,
heard
yeah, we're
Jason
coming
was.
out.
Okay, all right,
Mhm.
cool. Yeah, then yeah, I'll take potions for sure. If you're gonna get them up to me, I'm down with that for sure.
Why don't you take the last 2 frost vials if they're still in
I'll
there?
take. Yeah, I definitely will.
So yeah, I mean, Ileana and Sirhain, empty that chest.
Grab them. Grab your stuff. Have some cool toys.
How does one
You
change?
just
just
drag
drag
and
and
drop
drop
onto your
chest to your
character.
Yeah.
There we go.
You get some free stuff.
Gotta make my character sheets.
There we go. Okay. I think I got all of them. I got 2.
Yeah, it's like literally take whatever else you want. I've got loads of potions of
My
my own,
dog
and I've raided this cache.
Grab something. Sorry.
I'll take anything that's left, but make sure you guys have got some stuff because it's
And these are
beneficial
all
for you all to be
throwables.
throwing them.
These are all throwables. Okay.
Yep,
well,
all
you know what?
throwables.
Yeah.
It's all the different kinds of throwables that he can make in there easily.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
You know, I can only throw so many around, so you might as well dish them out.
All right. I'm gonna leave alchemist fire. I think that alchemist fire. So there's 3 alchemist fire in there. I've got a lot of potions on me right now.
Well, then I guess I can take them. Because I don't have any.
Yeah. There we go. Okay.
Got it.
I got him.
Right, so you distribute the last of Thalgrid's impromptu creations here. Now everyone's got a bunch of fun things to throw, and in a very rare twist, I think the entire party, except Sirhane, is actually proficient in throwing them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's rare. We got 3/4 of the party is proficient in throwing bombs.
Ooh, ooh.
So, what now? You don't see the statue at the moment. It's forsaken.
We know the
this
general
chapel.
direction that it's in, right?
You know vaguely where it is. Yeah, you know it's that way.
I think what we should do is arrange ourselves in kind of an arc around an area. I can get its attention by firing my gun once or twice. It'll come this way fast enough.
You got a pretty
And then we just ambush it.
decent little spot here, out in front of the Artisans Guild. There is a small little open area that looks like it might have once been a display area. There are a couple of vaulted stone latticed walls that may have once had something growing up them that has fallen by the wayside without maintenance, that has not in fact survived without upkeep. It's a pretty decent little open area you can station yourself around.
Okay. Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
We should do that then.
Stealth has never been my strength. Perhaps if you wanted to ambush it, I've got those tools. I could make a racket loud enough to draw it in.
You could start doing a blacksmithy, just like hammering on something. That would be great.
Starts playing the buckets out here.
When it
Put on a universal
draws
performance.
near, all you need to do is duck out of sight and remain until it is close enough for us to spring up and attack.
Yeah.
Is that what
Sounds
you're
good to
doing?
me.
Then? You wait in here, you organize yourselves. Let me then bring us across. Oh, that was way quicker. Hey, I figured out how to make maps that don't crash your computers.
Yay!
How cool is that?
My favorite.
The group of you were set up around here, and you can just kind of. I had Sirhane and Varen just sort of up on like the edges because you were up on just a raised place that you could get to. This door behind you is a door that leads into the Artisans Guild. So go ahead and just arrange yourselves however you would want to be as you set up this ambush.
I guess I should probably be on the ground, just since I'm like I don't have any ranged weapons besides like the fire.
Right. So, Sirhane and Varen, if you put yourselves up kind of against the wall, we'll just say you're up, raised up about 10 feet above the ground. You could also get
Okay.
on top of this lattice thing in the center as well. Is very easily climbable and has fairly large posts at each corner and interspersed throughout that were intricate parts of the display.
Yeah, I mean,
Big enough to sit on.
can we see through the roof of it?
It doesn't have a roof. This
Oh.
this thing out in front is just like freestanding, like what vines would grow up. There's actually, it's like an open gazebo, but yeah, there is not a top to it. It's just freestanding walls and pillars.
So if I kind of hide out like up here, that would work.
Absolutely.
Like, okay, so like this sort of thing, would that be up there? Am I
I'll
seeing
put you
this
like
wrong?
there and you'd be up there.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Are we good? Are we content? Are we comfortable? I feel
Yeah,
like we're
I'm not
think we're
climbing
good.
anything, so I'm gonna hide behind the balustrade.
Ilyana's lurking ready in the back for something, whatever Ilyana's gonna go do.
Yep. Smash some stone.
Hit some things.
Hopefully.
If you're all prepared, there are a wide variety of ways in which you could make plenty of noise. That's not
I have 2 rounds in my gun that I need to clear out for adamantine, so I just raise my
Perfect.
gun in the air and fire both rounds.
not a problem that the party has. I don't think we have an issue getting the statue's attention. But with these 2 gunshots just ringing out openly through the cavern, again, fired up to make as much sound as possible, it's not long before you see the statue emerge again, a little further around this village where it's just been kind of patrolling, stumbling again, somewhat aimlessly, out towards the Artisans Guild. And it's not until it gets relatively close, when it gets in near enough for all of you to spring on it, that I'm finally gonna have us all roll this initiative here.
Okay. All
Add
right.
everyone to combat. There we go.
Can
You
I
guys have
use-
prepped. You've prepared. You ran into this thing in the mine and had absolutely no chance. But now, maybe.
Maybe.
Can I use stealth for my initiative?
Anyone who wants to roll stealth for initiative can absolutely roll stealth for initiative. Except Varen, who I
We
assume
don't-
is scouting to give you all the +1.
We can tell that combat started because there's the 3.
Oh, here they come.
I'm glad I used stealth.
There we go.
Ooh,
Holy
Varen's
Toledo.
ready. Did you? Where's? Oh, good. Okay, there we go. I see. Just make that your initiative. Okie dokie. Varen, you're up, ready. You shot the gun. You got its attention. You are first.
I get to move 10 feet for free as part of my 10 paces.
Okay.
Do I actually have any line of sight to it from here?
It is big enough, and as it comes in, yeah, if you can just, yeah, like, just barely see it. I'd give it, like, definitely cover.
Yeah, I think the game is giving it cover, that's for sure.
I think that's what this effect is, yeah. I think that effect is concealment, because you can't draw line of sight to the center of its token, but you can definitely hear it stomping forward. I'm going to say it's cover, not concealment.
Well, what I'd like to do is I'm going to start by throwing a frostbite at it. So I will draw that and throw it.
All right, that's going to be in the 3rd range increment. So it's going to be at a -4.
All right. Yeah. We'll give it a shot. Well, that's
gonna
a
give it a
critical
shot.
miss. So
Yeah,
that's gonna go
Oh
wide.
no.
It's pretty long
That's
to
okay.
throw. Splashes
It
against
was
the side
it
of
was
the
a long
lattice.
shot. It was a long shot. Then with my my final action, I do still have my gun out, but I'm not going to waste a shot until I have better line of sight to it.
Fair.
So I'm going to take cover. That's what I'm going to do.
Makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. Seeing this splashed across, and as you all start to spring your ambush here, this statue is immediately going to lumber forth into the area. Now you're up on top of this lattice. That definitely gives you cover as well. At the moment, you're the only one it clearly sees. And it stumbles over alongside the stairs, just reaching up, its head just a little above the lattice that you're laying down on, bringing its arm up to swing kind of awkwardly. So you got regular cover, +2.
All right. So that'll give me a armor class of 23.
It's going to be a 28 to hit you. So
Well,
it's-
that
it's-
will hit.
It's
Oh
tall
my
enough
God.
it can reach up there.
Yeah.
Ooh, almost minimum damage. It's going to hit you for
Just-
12.
Jason,
Almost
how much
minimum.
how much did you annoy Squiiddish in your Plaguestone game?
He's the only one
a lot.
who's
I wasn't even
covered
there.
so far. Who else are gonna go after?
You throw one blood ooze at somebody, and boy, they just won't forgive you.
Serhane.
Well, okay, yeah, I'm gonna try to throw a frost vial at it, right?
All right, go ahead. You're in the second ranged increment, so -2.
Okay. Okay, wait. So hang on. Let me. Do I just click to target?
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
Give me that little pitch.
Do I need to do a minus or anything, or is it gonna know that automatically?
Throw it and we'll
It'll
see.
know.
Let's see if it takes the 2 out. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I guess I could go
It
look
did
at
on mine.
Oh, it did take
So
2 range
I-
penalty. Yep, automatic.
Okay. So
How
I
cool
just
is
hit the
Foundry?
strike +4, right?
Yep.
I'm just hitting that.
How cool is Foundry, and how cool is this Siren Control plugin for Foundry?
I mean,
Okay,
it's all
yeah.
pretty dope. It's all pretty dope.
good. So here's the magic
Uh,
of not being trained in bombs. Is
Yeah,
that you just
yeah.
get your dex. The upside is you only regular miss, which means
Okay.
it hits right at the feet of the statue. It
Splash.
still splashes it. It absolutely still splashes it. So let me double
Okay.
check what exactly that does. Okay. With that splash, it's gonna take 7 damage. You can see that even just a little kind of side exposure of this to the statue, it's pretty effective. It's exactly as I think it was Veyron had predicted. The metal plates on it immediately start to freeze, and you even see hairline cracks shoot out almost immediately, just from small little drops splashing across it. The frost of this is incredibly potent.
Ooh. Okay. All right. I like that. And then let's see. I've got. So can I?
One action left.
Yeah. Can I move like from here to here?
Sure,
Can I move to this one?
absolutely you can.
All right. Or, yeah, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move as quietly
And
as I
that
can,
brings
but I'm
us
gonna move.
to Ilyana back around the corner. What weapon do you have out? Do you have the traffic cone sword, or do you have your axe?
Well, right now I still do have my traffic cone sword
Get in
out
there.
with my shield.
Good lord.
So we'll see how this goes. Okay. Okay. And if I was wanting to use the sudden charge, does that work?
You
around
still don't need
corners?
to. It does, but you're still close enough. You can just move up and hit him.
I just want to use it.
Yeah,
just wanna charge
it's an
them.
adventure taking place in a cave. We're gonna get a lot of sudden charge value in here.
It
Everything's
sounds
real
so
closey.
cool. Okay. All right. I'm gonna move up. Wait. Did I do that?
I just was moving you up, but you can move
Oh,
wherever
okay,
you want to
thank you.
move. But
Nope.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Move wherever you
Um,
want to move, but standing right in front of the Mad Bomber.
you can go wherever you want to go. I was just dragging
yeah.
you forward. That's the closest square
Okay.
that can reach him. You'd still have like 10 feet of movement left.
And I can still. That was only one action to move, right? So then I still have an action to hit, and then I can move again.
Absolutely, you do. Yep.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to attempt to hit this thing.
So when you roll this attack,
Um,
when it prompts up the prompt asking you for a modifier, just put a -2 in there. You just got a -2 from swinging the traffic cone sword.
okay.
It's not super effective. Not a great weapon anymore, but it's still a sword, and it still has an adamantine tip.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how this goes.
You roll a 20, it's not gonna matter. Just roll a 20. We
Yeah,
got
just
this.
roll. You don't think you're a fighter. She doesn't even need a 20, man. She's just like a 13.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it's-
Yeah, that's true.
You said for the you said you do -2.
-2 on the attack roll, yes. That is the screwed up sword penalty you're going to be bearing.
Okay.
Oh, that was almost a 20.
It was almost a 20.
So close.
Wait, did it do the -2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
It doesn't matter because either way, a 23 isn't going to hit. That's you swinging and it's just the pick tip. Adamantine's not like water to the Wicked Witch of the West. It's just going to start melting it because
That's
you touch
fair.
him with it. and you hit him, and it just kind of still glances off as he turns, grating sound of sliding stone as his head rotates to look down at you.
Oh, perfect. Okay, and then I'm going to move. I still want to be close enough to hit it on my next turn.
You got to make sure at the top left you got token controls and select token, the little square icon if you want to move yourself around.
Oh yeah, okay, I have that. I guess I'll just move back here. I don't know if I really want to get hit by
Little
it,
space.
though.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
That brings us
and that is me.
then to Thalgrid.
Yeah, so I'm going to test out my theory because I think acid was going to slow it. So I'm going to start off with my acid.
All right, give me a toss.
Just once hit. 19.
I mean, a regular miss
Splash.
still works. Regular miss still splashes him, and still splashing him is still going to slow him as the acid
Nice.
wears through his legs, causing him to stumble a bit.
Brilliant.
So he'll only be able to punch me in the face twice next round.
The advantage of alchemical tools, you just got to get kind of close. It's still all right.
Then with quick draw, I'm going to go straight to. Let's do bolt lightning. We haven't tried lightning on him yet.
Okay. We just throw the everything sandwich, see what happens. Just get him out there.
Yeah.
Give him some pitches.
Keep testing. One of them's going to work.
This is a science
eventually.
experiment now.
Draw that.
And then just
Critical mass, unfortunately.
you're very consistent on your rolls of a 10, but that is going to critically miss. You trying to compensate as it lumbers, it staggers a bit, and the bottle just sails right past, popping and splashing off away from it. The acid not really, or the lightning not really striking near the golem as sparks fly.
And then just move up to there, so I'm a bit further out the way.
Makes sense to me. Veyron, this thing's right in your face.
I do a bit of a whistle as I do a pistol twirl. So I'm going to attempt to feint it.
Okay.
So I'll make a deception check against its will DC.
Ooh.
26.
I mean, it definitely succeeds. Yeah, it's definitely
All
flat-footed.
right.
Like, it's-
Let's
Heck
go,
yeah.
man.
It is flat-footed against my attacks. I level my adamantine striking pistol at its forehead and pull the trigger.
Bang.
So you're gonna be impressed by my quality of craftsmanship with this.
I hope that I am. The last session was nothing but a
Believe.
carnival of failure. This
Believe.
time has to work.
You can't have a carnival of failure 2 sessions in a row.
That's right.
That's
Here we
just
go.
how math works.
Is AC is too lower?
His AC is too lower. Oh, let me,
Oh, 20.
oh man, it don't matter.
Oh.
It don't matter.
28.
Heck
It
yeah.
don't matter. I don't gotta put that debuff on there. 28's absolutely gonna hit him. How could you miss at this range?
Here comes the damage. Adamantine bullet. 6.
6
Well.
damage as this fragment you shoot punches into the stone of this thing's face, blasting away a chunk. This is effective.
Finally.
Oh, yeah, finally.
And I'm gonna fire again.
Double pistol.
I'll fire the other shot. We're crit fishing here, but
Go for it. I mean, it's
do
a
it.
gun. Crit fishing's what you do.
Yep.
He's only flat-footed to the one attack, or is he? Oh,
Oh my
he's
God.
crit fishing, baby!
Holy cow.
Crit fishing!
There
Oh
it
my
is.
God.
20. That is
There
a 20.
it is.
That's amazing.
Bang!
Sometimes you do some good fishing. Here comes the critical
Give me the
damage.
crit. Oh, those
Well-
dice are really depressing, but what matters is
That
that you
is
crit 'em.
awful.
That is so
That
bad.
is.
10 damage.
At least it's better than 3.
So
That
bad.
literally could have been 48, and I did 10.
You roll a 1, a 2, and a 2 on your 3d8s. That's, we don't
Yeah.
roll good crits here. It's not quite Dan's 3 damage crit, but a 10 damage
Yeah.
Could have been 3.
striking double barrel pistol crit's pretty up
It
there.
is. On average, it should have been 26, and instead it was 10.
Well, what matters is that,
man.
points on the board is what we call that.
Yeah. I'll take it.
So this one fist of this statue swings down at Veyron, hitting him as Ilyana makes this kind of run by. And he turns and raises its other hand, and you see again sparks and flames just kind of coalesce around it as a cone of fire blasts out over Ilyana. I need a reflex save.
Oh crap! All right.
Ooh.
There you go.
Holy cow!
Ooh.
All right.
Did I critically succeed? Hold on.
I'm quick on my feet. I'm a cat.
It does not
Oh, wait.
critically
Like a cat.
succeed.
I just moved myself. My bad.
It does not critically succeed, but it does
Oh.
regular succeed. So you will take half damage. Dodge. You've seen this before now. So you're able to avoid much of it. You are only going to take 16 points of fire damage as this jets
All right, I
out
can
over
deal
you.
with that.
And as it lumbers around slowly to get this up, you see it start to regain its composure and regain its speed. But that is its whole turn. Serhane.
Well, all right. I'm going to see how in the grand scheme of things, my miss was actually very effective based off of the other damage that I'm seeing get put up. So I'm gonna draw this thing called the Thunderstone. Is that right? Thunderstone?
That's Thunderstone. Get it out there.
I'm gonna draw that and I'm gonna throw that.
Wait.
And am I am targeting, right?
Yeah, you targeting. You're good. If you see the little dot on top of them, it's your color. You have them targeted.
Okay, perfect.
There we
Because
go.
I'm not. I don't see a yellow dot.
Oh, I
But-
do. That's weird.
Oh, okay, but I do see the triangles pushing in on the side, so I'm like, that looks pretty
you only
effective.
you only see other people's dots, not yours.
Okay.
Oh, okay, makes sense. I see it. Yeah, because I see 4 dots on his head right now. He's got the
Okay.
Skittles stacked up.
All right, I'm gonna do this Thunderstone thing. I'm doing it.
All right, in second range increment, it'll do that automatically.
Come on. Ooh, 18.
Miss.
18's gonna miss, but just regular miss. It's gonna blast at his feet. And Thunderstone's a little different from the rest of these bombs. It doesn't so much explode with some kind of a payload as an ear-shattering crack rings out from it, echoing out from underneath the statue here. The statue seems wholly unperturbed. Ilyana and Veyron are both going to take
Oh,
1
no.
point of sonic splash damage.
Damn it. All right, I'm
And I
putting that
need
away.
you to make me fortitude saves.
Fort save, all right.
Oh shit.
Oh, hell yeah. Is that a 20 on the die?
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Is that a 24 you rolled, Jason?
Oh,
that
Is
was
that
a
a,
4.
is that a 4?
It was a
or
4.
The 14.
Doing the thing again where I don't see dice. No.
Oh, no.
Well, I got a
What is
30.
Yeah,
good?
they
Happening.
both got crits. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Listen, if I'm deafened for a round, it's actually for the best.
I
'cause,
mean-
my guns have half deafened.
It's a
me
lesser
already at this
Thunderstone.
point.
It's only DC 17. So
I still
it's not. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
a. Oh, okay. Well, you
What if
are
you
in fact
hit
deafened
succeed?
for 1 round.
Yeah. Oh no. I won't hear the sweet song of my guns firing again.
All right, I'm gonna. Oh man. Yeah, you guys just gotta tell me what you roll. I don't.
I rolled a
it's-
30.
Yeah, from like going forward,
I have
because
a
it stopped
14.
showing me dice
Oh.
rolls again. I don't know how to fix that.
Okay.
But you have 1 action left, Serhane.
You know what? I'm going to actually just draw another frost vial. I'm gonna draw
Ready
a frost
up.
vial.
All right then, Ilyana, a little toasty.
Little toasty. Okay. I'm thinking I should switch to my great axe. But okay. I don't know. Can I do intimidating glare at it
You sure can.
and try to demoralize it?
As you, what do you do? What's it look like?
I'm gonna, being a cat, she's just gonna stare at it with like the squinty eyes and like hiss with like her ears, like ears back, the airplane ears.
His
Airplane ears.
airplane ears is beautiful.
Airplane ears.
His stone face is unmoved. You get the feeling this statue is not going to be shaken by emotion.
Oh, man.
That's just going to automatically fail. So you get 2 actions left.
All right, well, I'm gonna move closer to it again, and I'm gonna try to take a swing at it.
Okie dokie. If you step up from here,
One.
it's tall enough that you and Varen are kind of flanking it from opposite sides here. So
Oh,
it's
crap.
going to be
Alright.
flat-footed against you.
Heck yeah. All right, well, let's.
We're just flanking it from up on the high ground.
And it's -2.
-2, yep.
Okay. Well, that sucks. That sucks even more. Okay.
Reminder,
that
I
is-
can't see your rolls.
Oh, it's a 15. I missed.
Oh, 15
yeah, 15.
definitely is not going to land, no.
Yeah, so that's all me. That's all my turn.
That brings us then to Thalgrid.
Yep.
I think I got.
Move back to there.
Frost it.
Frost it is. For science. Oh, for just once.
That's a 4 on the die. That's a 4 on the
Oh.
die for
Critical
13.
miss.
Critical miss. It's just going to splash, freezing a bit of the ground on the stairs in front of him. Hey, you guys need like a dice therapist or something.
Yeah.
We need a dice exorcist. A therapist isn't going to do it.
Oh.
Yeah.
These dice are spinning around, vomiting
not my
green on
fault.
us. It's not good.
I had nothing to do with this. Yeah, it wasn't me.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna spend my next action just actually shouting at my potion bottles for being so useless.
Varen!
Because
I am going to spend an action to reload my gun,
Fair
and
enough.
then I'm going to shoot it again. That's
we
all
got a
there
good
is to
thing
it.
going. We got a good thing
Yeah.
going here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on the continuing the shooting it. Here it comes.
Is that a 2 on the die? That's a 2
Oh
my
on the
Lord.
die.
Guys, please.
Total of 15.
15.
Yeah, no, that's gonna miss.
15 is not
And then
in fact gonna
I'm
hit it.
going to fire again.
Oh, that's a
Oh,
12.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
You're a -5 map gamer is what it is.
Yeah, no, it's
You don't come out
it's,
until the third action.
Listen, I have special macros on Foundry that the rest of you don't have. It's
Oh.
fine though.
All right,
It's
so
not
there's
cheating. It's
surely you'll
just
do more than 10 damage this time.
engineering. Yeah, here comes the crit.
Come on.
Here we go.
3.
Let's go, Jason.
Somehow.
Oh,
26.
that's-
26 points of damage this time.
46.
Let's go.
Look at
Right in the
Yeah.
forehead.
That's a pretty good shot. Fair enough. All right. And that knocks a pretty big chunk of this thing's face away. The bullet glancing out and coming out the side of the helmet, bending out one of the plates a little bit with a metallic ping as it bounces off. This statue is not slow anymore, so it is kind of surrounded here. It's shot these flames toward Ilyana, who was hissed at it and just surged in, and it is just going to focus its hits that direction. Now, can I see my own rolls? Because if not, this gets really awkward. Oh
I
no.
mean, you should be able to open up the chat messages, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. My chat messages no longer display rolls. Like
that's
it's
cool.
Oh, that's not good.
All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're going to full manual. Finding a D20 roller. I'm just gonna roll it in Google. Do math. I don't know what is happening with this. This is the weirdest bug I've ever encountered. It's crazy. It happened both sessions.
Both times.
Okie dokie.
It's always towards the end of it too.
It's only, which is weird because the end is not the same time as it was the last time.
That is true. Yeah.
The first swing is only going to be a 19 to hit you, Ileana.
Oh, you said it's a 19. I have a 23. AC.
Yeah, definitely. With your newfangled armor here, you can shrug that off. With his first hit, comes down. The one that had shot the guy out of flame swings out wide, and that one is going to slam into you for a 30 to hit.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That one's probably going to connect. You are going to take, manually rolling some dice here off the side, don't mind me, 17 points of bludgeoning damage.
All right.
Put you here, I believe. There we go. And then as it lands, it's just going to keep swinging. It's not a smart dude. Doesn't seem to have the greatest tactical acumen. You stumble from this swing, its third one is going to land, pounding into the ground, shattering some of the stone, throwing rocks around. Absolutely not going to hit Ileana, though. Serhane! Got a frost vial in his hand and a plan.
I got a frost vial. I'm just gonna throw that thing. Well, wait. Can I? Would it be one action for me to move like there?
Sure, it's low enough I'd let you just hop off it if you're just going to hop off intentionally. It's only like a 10-foot high lattice.
Okay, so if I get there, does that make my hits any better?
That does stop you
close?
from taking the range penalty, yes, because you're within 20 feet now.
All right, let's go. Okay, that's where I'm gonna go, and then I'm gonna throw this this frost vial.
Tell me what you get.
It is 12. You know what? I'm gonna use my hero point and redo that. if I
Not being
could.
proficient in bombs coming in clutch here. Oh,
Wait, how do I
rogues.
use my? There we go.
You beautiful children. Never give up, never
You got
surrender.
this. You got this, Dan.
Oh, that was.
Oh,
No, it was almost a 20.
It's a 14. It's a 14.
14
Critical miss.
is a critical miss.
Damn it.
Yeah,
You got
it was
one
almost
action
20.
left. Oh, it's almost a 20.
I'm going to draw another frost vial, and that'll be my last
He's
one.
chucking.
It took my frost vial from when I did my hero point, so it doesn't let me have them. But I'll figure that
Well,
out.
you got a round to get that figured out. Ileana, you still got this flanking position here. It is throwing hands back at you, and they're landing not frequently, but hard when they do.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to switch out my weapon because I don't know with the -2. I don't know. I'm not really doing anything. Though I don't know if I'm gonna do anything else with my axe, but
The thing's damage reduction is pretty brutal.
This is very thick. I would just from the wings, I would just to put up with the -2. It is flat-footed because you're
Alright.
flanking it, which is evening that out.
all right, I'm putting up with it then.
The
All
DR
right,
is
well
real heavy.
I'm just gonna swing and hopefully not miss.
I mean, listen, if I have to crit this thing to death, I will.
I will roll as many 20s as I gotta roll.
I got a 26.
26 will hit.
Nice.
Now it is still a striking short sword.
Oh.
You do still get the extra damage in there. You get all the benefits of hitting. It's just a little harder to land because it's a little bit of a wacky kind of bonking stick now. Give me the
So
damage.
you'll need
Empanada
to,
stuck
you'll need
on
to
the
roll
end.
another d6 because you didn't
Roll
put
another
the
D6?
striking rune in
Okay.
there.
Oh yeah, just I'll update your thing real quick.
Oh, I thought I put it on my character sheet. I guess maybe I didn't do that.
There. From now on, it should roll automatically.
Oh,
Well, now it did.
I did not mean
Oh,
to
there
do
you
that.
Oh.
But there's
Fine.
the
What's the total?
13.
yeah.
13.
Not bad, not bad. 13 damage, not resisted at all.
Nice.
full effectiveness as you take another chunk out of the side of this thing.
All right. Well, I'm gonna hit it again. Maybe.
Hey, that believe. You got to believe in yourself.
I'm going to absolutely hit it again.
That's why Thalgrid's dice are the way they are. He's given up. His dice know it.
I missed. I got a 20.
Well, yeah, 20. It's fairly close, but won't do it.
You know, for the last one, I'm gonna raise my shield for my last action.
Ooh, okay, it's focusing on you. Use that to your advantage. Thalgrid.
Okay, how badly injured do Ileana and Verin look?
I'm okay.
I'm about half health.
Liliana's
A little over half health.
She's a little hurt. She's a little scorched. She got pounded. She's definitely feeling it a bit. Yeah, Verin's actually looking mostly all right.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna regret this. Right. Charge in. Well, not so much charge. Running, trying to keep his head down low so he doesn't get swung out by that thing. Doing battle medicine on Ileana.
This man. Any of you should be able to hover over your allies now and see a general health bar. General indication. Just for convenience.
Well,
It wasn't a crit failure, but it was a 10, so it didn't.
Yeah, you're a little worried about not getting punched. Right now it's more your concern.
yeah.
And yeah, I guess not standing behind next to the thing would be in his.
He's making
He's gonna move.
He's making a drive-by. He came in,
Thanks for the help.
swung some money at you and ran off. He's doing his best. Verin.
That went
you
so
know,
well.
Last round went okay, so I'm gonna do that again.
You
I'm
got a
gonna
really good
reload
system.
and fire.
Load
it's a
up the
good
gun
system.
and then just like shoot him a bunch of times.
Yeah,
The
I
true
think I'm gonna
magic of
just
the
keep
dueling
doing
pistol, the
that.
double-barrel pistol, rather.
The secret is that's how you kill things.
You-
All right,
You do damage. Reduce their health to 0.
first shot.
Ooh.
24 is a hit.
24 is a hit.
Here comes the damage.
Well,
7.
Ooh, that's
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Magical second
Enemies.
attack.
There's no way he does it a third time, right? There's no way.
I mean, it's statistically so ridiculously impossible that we're just gonna have it happen. Oh, it was almost a
Oh,
19.
man,
That
it
was
was.
close. No, it's gonna miss.
Last one's gonna go wide, unfortunately. Even with your shield raised, the statue does not abate in its attacks. It just continues to bear down on Ileana. As you put this up, a 25 AC is a hell of a drug, fortunately.
yep.
Let's see if it's enough. It's a 26 to hit
Are
you.
you kidding me?
Nope.
God.
Do you have the shield block reaction, Miss Fighter?
I do have shield block.
You
Yes.
want to block it or you want to eat it?
I'll block it.
Okay, so you're going to be, I don't know what kind of shield it is, but you're going to be taking the hardness off of this damage here, and then you and your shield are both going to take that. The damage is going to be 14.
Okay. So
Now-
it goes 14 to my shield health.
And 14 to your health.
And 14 to my
And
health. Okay.
with that, you're going to see this is a pretty powerful blow that's almost going to bring Ileana down. And then as it slams
Yeah.
this arm, it doesn't appear to be like have hands it can manipulate. So its fist just kind of comes down backhanded at you. You see it ignite again as it swings back up, and a wash of fire shoots out towards the north. A cone surging out from Ileana, stopping just exactly short of also catching Thalgrid, who is one tile more than 15 feet. Need a reflex save, Ileana, and you don't have a lot of hit
Alright.
points here.
I got a 27.
Good.
Nice.
27's a regular success. You will take It's a middling roll. 12 points of fire
I'm down.
damage, which
Oh,
is
no.
gonna drop
I just
her.
went. Yeah, I went down.
You're gonna see this surge of fire come out, and you're gonna see Ileana drop.
Well, that's one life. All right.
Sarah, hey, just got 8 to go.
You know what? Forget this frost. I've got these. I'm gonna take out my hunter's bow and shoot it with these new arrows.
It does
Maybe
look
that's gonna be a little better.
like what is honestly almost entirely Veyron's bullets, and like one good hit from Ileana are blasting away pretty big chunks of it. It's pretty critical.
Yeah. Let's give it a shot. So I don't know how to put the arrows in.
They just, I mean, they don't do any different damage. They just don't have
Okay,
SDR,
okay.
so it'll just be whatever
All right.
damage you roll. It's just eating all of it.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna shoot with the hunter's bow. Boom. That is a 19.
19's not gonna do it.
No.
Arrow's just gonna kind of glance across him,
Damn it.
scouring it, leaving a mark, but no damage.
All right, I'm gonna take my third action and try to shoot again.
Do it. Get in there.
23. No, all right. The bearded face says it all. I see it in the face.
Oh, it's so close. Dahlgren. This is your moment, Dahlgren.
Oh. Yeah. Ah. Right. Okay.
Do something good.
Just anything would be good.
Healing of
Anything
some
that actually
sort.
hits. Yeah. So I am going to use my infused regents to
Yep.
make a healing potion. Sadly, it is only a lesser, but it's at least it's something.
It's alive.
And then I can throw that as a bomb to hit Ileana, which will inflict the healing potion on her, which is quite awesome.
Solid. You just gotta not critically miss, right?
That's it. Yeah, that's all it takes.
You can do it, buddy.
I suppose I should target her as well. Actually, sorry. Oops. Not that.
I'm gonna
Target her.
say I don't think rules is written. It is, but I'm gonna say her shield is no longer raised by her
Yeah,
unconsciousness.
no, it wouldn't be. Yeah, no.
Oh my god.
Well, remember what we said? All right, that's a 1 on the die.
What
It
is
was
this?
nice knowing
Thugger,
y'all.
what's this look like? What's this the clear panic look like here?
He probably pulls out his regents, starts trying to mix together the bomb to get ready to kind of throw at her. Tries to raise his hand to throw it, but gets it snagged on part of his own clothing and just throws the potion over his own shoulder and dripping down onto the floor.
I mean, I'm just gonna say this. I told Squid we have to be done. We have a hard stop. We are not helping.
Do damage!
This. We're not helping this at all.
Yeah,
We're
I
not
got,
helping.
don't worry. I got this. My guns just rolled crits, so it'll be
Thulgrin's got
fine.
one action left.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure it'll be very fruitful. The rest of the
You
time.
can do it, buddy.
Right, so I can't heal her because I don't have any more battle medicine. I can't get to her. It's gonna have to be a bomb. So we're gonna go.
You do have the
for-
ability to not hit her with splash damage.
That's
right?
true. I mean, you can hit the front corner of the statue, and yeah, it's fine. He's
Oh, yeah,
the
please don't.
statue is big enough that you can just aim at the other side of it.
Yeah. So go for with my final frost.
If you critically miss, I'm having to hit her though.
Oh god. Not my crumpled little kitty body on the floor.
Oh,
Shield still raised though.
Come on.
Come on, buddy, you can do it.
You got this.
I mean, how badly can this go?
Very.
Well, I mean, we've seen already how badly
Yeah.
it can go.
Come on, buddy.
Very fair point.
Oh,
There we go.
hey!
Finally.
Was
25.
25 hits. Oh man, this might
Yeah.
actually be encounter ending. Hold on. You hit it directly. It's not
Um,
splash damage. It's actually taking the full
yeah,
weakness
so-
now.
10 damage, 2 splash.
It's not gonna take that because what this is gonna do, it's gonna take a fixed amount of damage from the direct impact of this this frost vial splashing across it properly, it's going to take 28 points of frost damage. Because this statue just takes a fixed amount of damage when it gets hit by frost. And as you see this splash across it, the plate on its chest crumples and folds, crushing in a big chunk of its shoulder, almost collapsing the thing entirely. Almost. Varen, let's see it, buddy. Just hit it.
I looked down at the alchemist and I'm like, almost redeemed. Almost.
Almost there.
I reload and fire.
Let's see it.
That's all I got. I reload
That's all we
and I pull
need.
the trigger.
Look, you're the one with the hard stop. Your fate's in your own hands, buddy. Just hit it.
23.
Yeah, I'm out of hero points, so that's gonna miss.
It's flanked right.
Oh, yeah,
Iliana on the
in
other
there?
side.
Nah, Iliana's unconscious.
Yeah, but she
that's
did roll
fair.
the second attack.
We're just taking a
No,
little
I
kidnap.
got a
Nope.
13. It was a critical miss the second time.
Iliana, just roll me a flat d20. She's doing her best. It's
I'm
it was
trying.
all right, but
We're
ground
gonna have
hurts.
victory.
I'm sorry, wait, how do I
Snatched
roll
from the
just
jaws of
a...
victory.
You can just type /r space d20 and it will just throw one out there.
/R...
Oh my
cool.
god.
That's perfect. Can I
That's a
hero point?
1. That's a 1 on the die.
Can I hero point?
That's not
No, there's no hero point. You're dying 3. You critically fail your dying check.
Well,
The statue turns towards Varen. I don't gotta tell you what's happening here. We've been here enough times. It's just gonna throw one big hand out towards you. 19 to hit.
That's gonna miss.
Second, wow. 16 to hit on the second one. I rolled a 2 into a 4.
No. You get nothing.
Get
Good
lost.
day, sir.
I rolled a 2 into a 4 into a natural 20, so you better slow that roll right there. Because the third one, you got a little bit of cover here. It swings one arm, swings the other, and then just pulls them both up and crunches to the entire top of the lattice itself. Varen is going to take 30 points of bludgeoning damage as you see his body just crumple under this thing's fist. Serhane, speed, go.
I am
Uh,
still
You gotta
unconscious.
shooting.
win before
Somehow.
it kills everybody. Come on.
All right, here we go. Let me just roll a 20.
oh my god, I thought that was a 20 at
That's a
first.
17. That's gonna
Nope.
miss. And then here goes the second one.
Team, your dice, please.
This is nope. That's a 19. That's gonna miss.
Just roll 20 on the third one.
Oh, this is a waste. I'm not doing anything.
It's not a
That's
waste if you roll good.
That's a 2. That's a 2.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
That's a
great.
3. It's a 3 total.
Dahlgren, save him.
Right. Damn it. Iliana, how many of those frost bombs did I see you throw? Have you thrown
None.
any bombs?
I don't have any frost bombs. I have
You didn't
the
take
fire,
any?
the alchemist fire.
I have the other 2.
You see
Don't
him
worry,
as
I'll be
Varen gets
unconscious
kind of
and fall
crushed
from the
down
roof
from the
soon
top of the
enough.
wall. You see him dangling down off of his bandolier and grab in range. If you could run over there.
Yeah, I'm going to do just that. Thalgrid, casting in caution to the wind, because at the end of the day he's going to miss anyway. Thalgrid is going to run across, grab the bomb from Varen, and literally slam the bomb onto this golem.
I will let you, instead of rolling an attack, you've seen it's pretty effective. You're right up in melee. Literally just smash it across the 3 of you here. You and the statue and Varen, if you want to take that choice.
You just mash it like a banana.
I'm going
You
to
killed us all.
I'm going to do it.
Varen, make a reflex save.
I'm not good. Well, actually, this is my best save.
You got
so
this, Jason. You got this.
sure.
Done. Hey,
26.
Yeah, that's good.
26!
Easy
You're,
peasy.
you're fully under the statue's hands. There's no exposed Varen to get in. And as this splashes across everything here, this ice finally surging across this statue, it crumbles, coming to a halt. The metal plates crunkling and crushing in. As enough stone falls away, one leg collapses entirely as the thing just crumples down onto the ground. It is defeated. Barely. But you did it. And what matters is that we won. And
We won.
later that afternoon, 4 figures would emerge victorious from the mine. Veyron, Serhane, Thalgrid, and their new friend Rhinus, who's
Rhinus.
definitely still alive. There may be some inquiries as to what happened to the cat. They don't want to talk about it. But the rest of them have one last head to split this 500 gold purse between.
Terrible.
Oh, we're not splitting anything with Rhinus.
You guys don't even care to me
Yeah,
out.
it was like one less head.
Oh,
It's a
no, we
3-way
didn't.
split.
No, we
Rhinus isn't taken. It
Yeah.
was a 4-way split,
Yeah,
but
no.
you lost
Yeah,
the cat. The legends say she has 9 lives, and Ilyana will come back to fight another day somewhere in another
Absolutely.
life, but it's not going to be this one, unfortunately. Thank you all for joining us. I tried my hardest to end this in
Oh, we're
time,
all
and
good.
your
We're all
dice
good.
just absolutely refused.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
All
Boy,
the
we're-
sounds, music, and everything you've had in the background, of course, you know they're coming from Syrinscape, and they are all coming in. We're playing on Foundry here. It's got a direct plug-in. I have been just running everything for all these fine people in the Foundry system itself. It's really neat. It's really cool. Check it out. Cool platform. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for having me and letting me run this show.
Thank you, Squiiddish.
Heck
Thank
yeah.
you so much for running.
Squiiddish, you crushed it. It was great. I
You
had so
crushed
much fun.
me.
Thank you guys. I'm glad you enjoyed. Hopefully, maybe I'll see y'all again in some future adventures. But for now, I know at least one of us has got a jet with a swiftness. So good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye,
Farewell.
buddy.